Okay, let's just dive right in. If you're making stuff for YouTube, you already know that your visuals have to be top-notch. It's non-negotiable. But let's be real, creating them can be a huge, massive time sink. So today, we are breaking down the complete playbook from AI educator Dr. Vernette Grant on how to totally master your YouTube visuals with AI.
And I'm sure this hits home for a lot of you. I mean, we've all been there, right? You've got the script done, the video's edited, but then making those high-quality, on-brand thumbnails and B-roll just becomes this giant bottleneck. It's honestly the difference between staying on schedule and falling completely behind.
And this is exactly where Dr. Vernette Grant's strategy comes in to save the day. She's put together this really clear, systematic way to make these AI tools your new best friend, your creative partner. So let's walk through her playbook, step by step.
So here's the game plan. We're going to cover 5 key things from her guide. We'll start with the challenge itself, then picking your AI toolkit. We'll nail down a killer thumbnail workflow, get smart about B-roll, and finally, wrap it all up by building a complete visual system for your channel.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the actual challenge. Because, the goal here isn't just to make a few pretty pictures. It's about making a huge shift from that slow, kind of frustrating process to a really smart, efficient workflow that gives you a serious edge. Alright, so you can't build anything without the right tools, right? Dr. Grant's playbook kicks off with a super important step, realizing that not all AI tools are created equal. You gotta pick the right one for the right job.
And wow, this breakdown is so incredibly useful. So, Dr. Grant says, think of it this way. You use Midjourney when you're going for that super dramatic, cinematic, almost real look. But if your thumbnail needs really specific text and a clean layout, DALL-E 3 is going to be your go-to. And for those big, bold, beautiful titles that just pop off the screen, well, that's what Ideogram was made for.
Okay, we've got our tools. Now let's get into the really practical stuff. This is Dr. Grant's step-by-step workflow for making thumbnails that people actually want to click on. It's all about having a system you can use over and over.
This 5-step process is really the heart of our whole strategy. You start with the story, that short emotional hook. Then, for consistency, you use a regular character or avatar. Now, here's the key part. You generate the main image first with almost no text. Then, you use a different tool to add the text later. And finally, you always test a few different versions to see what your audience really clicks on. And check this out. This is a perfect example of step 3 in action. This prompt template from Dr. Grant is just brilliant. It's not just saying, give me a picture. It's directing the AI with specific details like strong rim lighting and cinematic composition. But the most important part, empty space for text. That's how you stay in control. And then you move on to step 4. So instead of fighting with an image tool to get perfect text, you take that clean image you just made and pop it into DALL-E 3 or Ideogram, and you give it a super direct command, just like this one. It tells it the words, the colors, the placement, everything. It's a 2-step process for a very good reason. It just works. So a great thumbnail gets the click, which is awesome. But B-roll, that's what keeps people watching. It's all that extra footage you splice in. So let's talk about Dr. Grant's method for creating B-roll that actually helps tell your story, instead of just being, random filler.
The secret sauce here is a concept she calls planning beats. It's simple, but it's a game changer. Before you generate anything, you go through your script and pull out the key moments, your hook, the main problem, an important piece of data, your call to action. Each of those beats gets its own custom visual. That way, your B-roll is always strategic. And here's where you can really see that in action. She gives these fantastic examples. The conceptual prompt on the left, it creates this really emotional, dramatic image, right? But the business prompt on the right is much more direct, more professional. You're tailoring the prompt to fit the exact vibe of that moment in your video.
And that brings us to the final section. And honestly, this might be the most important one. The whole point isn't just to make a few cool images here and there. Dr. Grant's teaching is all about building a complete, reusable visual system that becomes your channel's unique identity. So what does that actually look like? Well, think of it like your brand's rulebook. It means having consistent colors, like that popular teal and orange look. It means always using a 16:9 aspect ratio. It's using similar lighting styles again and again. And this is huge, building your own library of your best prompts so you can get amazing results every single time. So if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. It's all about building a system. Dr. Vernette's training is basically a roadmap to get away from just random, one-off images. These reusable templates and consistent design choices, that's what truly unlocks the power of AI for any serious YouTube creator.
So, as we wrap up, the playbook is officially in your hands. The real question is, which tool are you going to try first? Midjourney for that cinematic look, DALL-E 3 for that perfect text, or Ideogram for a title that really pops? The system is all here. Now it's your turn to go out and make something awesome. And for more great teaching and training on AI, be sure to check out all the resources from Dr. Vernette Grant.